try to make me feel embarrassed. Their attempts have been in vain, but they tell me I'm the one with problems. They're the ones who are insane, so for those who want but won't admit it, you shouldn't feel like that, cause you could be 20% cooler and 10 seconds slower. Shout it out. I'm proud to be a brony. Yeah, yeah. I'm proud to be a brony.
Hello mares and gentle colts, my fellow bronies, and welcome to I'm Brony and I'm Proud. I've got Muska Chu on the line with me. Welcome, Muska.
It's very much a pleasure.
Is Muska your alter ego?
Well, if I told you my real name, I'd have to kill you.
You've heard that from the horse's mouth, or should I say the pony's mouth. So Muska, how did you get into the fandom?
I guess I was very intrigued as to how this topic actually got its own board on 4chan. So I looked it up. First of all, I saw all the fan-made content. I thought, hey, this is pretty awesome. I saw things like Flufflepuff and a lot of the fan animations and music. This Day Aria, that was a group effort done by the fandom over in America. But then I was lucky enough to actually see, I believe it's Episode-004, Season 3, Too Many Pinkie Pies. That was the first episode I ever saw, and it really got me hooked when Pinkie turned around. One of the Mirapool Pinkies turned around and said, "Bet you can't pull a face as crazy as this!" Basically, I thought if a show can actually take crap out of itself and the previous generations of itself, it must be okay. So I started from the very, very beginning, and within 3 or 4 days, I was completely up to date. I'm not exactly what one would expect to be a brony. I'm a metalhead. I love my piercings. I love anything sort of alternative, I guess, for a lack of a better term for that. Then my friends saw how happy it made me, and I made them watch the episodes with me, because if I'm going to watch it, they have to watch it with me. Friendship is magic. They ended up being really, really supportive because they saw how happy it made me. And I know this is going to sound really weird to actually attribute a show to improve my mental health, but it really, really did pull me out of a really dark place, because when I found it, I had just broken up with my ex-boyfriend Marty, and I just moved out of his house because we were living together.
So did Marty come from the future?
He's a bit of a blast from the past, and the funny thing is, he's probably never going to hear this, but he came up to me the other day and said, "I can't stop thinking about ponies. What have you done to me? Should I come out and be proud to be a brony?" I'm like, do whatever you need to do, man.
Come on the show.
After I broke up with Marty, I moved my cleanness from Marty, or guys in general, to ponies. And it made me so happy. I couldn't actually explain it. Ponies has brought me out of some really, really dark places. And it's not just the TV show, it's also the fandom, because the fandom is so caring and so giving. Well, it can be. Depends on what day you get it, I guess. But everyone that I've met in the Melbourne Big Bronies group is pretty much amazing. And it actually got me through a lot of really bad days at work, because customers are customers and some of them can be very infuriating. Anyone that works in customer service or fast food can attest to that. Until one day, I'm working, and this guy comes in. He's wearing a DJ Pony 3 t-shirt. My jaw drops. I run out the front, and I jump at him screaming, "Friendship is magic!" I think I scared him a little bit. Actually, I scared him a lot. He was actually the person that introduced me to the Melbourne Big Bronies group on Facebook. He was probably the first brony that I met in person. It was really awesome to know that I wasn't alone, because before that, I was, I guess, what you call a solitary brony. My friends, as I said, were really supportive of it, but they didn't enjoy the show. They just enjoyed seeing me happy. I feel really honoured to actually be a part of the Melbourne Big Bronies group, because I can't actually say how awesome everyone is. It's just amazing being able to share a passion with like-minded people and being able to debate and discuss things and have different views, still being able to respect those views, I guess. It's just awesome being able to talk about something you love.
Cool.
Very soon after I got into the fandom, I discovered that several of my siblings had started watching the show on early morning TV, and they adored it. I've always had a very strained relationship with my siblings because of certain things, but being able to connect with them over ponies really brought us closer together as well. For the past 2 years, all the presents I've gotten for them have included at least one pony item, and they love it. Every time they come over to my house, they say, "Can we watch ponies? Can we watch ponies? Can we watch ponies?" It is one of the cutest things I've ever seen, ever. So I do have to thank MLP for, bringing my family closer together. And I do have to thank my mum for being as supportive as she has with my addiction, because she's the one that gave me my large wisteria plush, and every time she finds something pony, even if it is 3rd gen or 2nd gen, I still really appreciate the thought. I initially told myself that I would never ever buy ponies because I knew that if I started, I wouldn't stop. So for my 21st birthday, my friend Manny bought me Pinkie Pie, and I literally screamed. She stuck it at the bottom of her bag because she bought me some clothes as well. As I was digging through the bag, she had this smile on her face, and I'm just going through the bag. I see at the bottom a Crystal Empire Pinkie Pie, and I just yell, Pinkie Pie! I was fairly drunk, but at least I remembered that. And it was seriously one of the best birthday gifts I've ever gotten. My cousin Mikey, he bought me a Rainbow Dash Equestria Girls doll, and he bought me a Rainbow Power Highlight Sparkle before Rainbow Power was known to be a thing. It just really does go to show that my friends and family are so super supportive, and they do actually take note of what I say. I only have one of the larger vinyl figurines, and that is a Derpy, because Derpy is best background pony and one of the best ponies. And I've got several of the black vinyl figurines. I still drive all my friends insane with the fact that I talk about ponies because a lot of them just don't care. A lot of my friends are in their 30s, they're in bands. I don't know, they're doing other things with their life, and I guess ponies doesn't really need to relate to them, but they know that it relates to me, so they do tend to lend a sympathetic ear. And, I mean, I've shown them some of the fan animations. For example, my boyfriend and I, we watch every new Flufflepuff video that comes out religiously, and he is Flufflepuff and I am Chrissy. That is probably the best way to explain the two of us.
So I have to ask, you guys have a pillow fortress?
It's a fun cave.
Thank you very much, yes.
I also found that before I injured my thumb, so when I could still draw, all I could draw was ponies. It was just that influential to me. I'm not really one for digital art, and what some of the people produce is just incredible. I don't see how they can actually do it either so quick or so diligently or so amazingly awesomely. I tend to work more with physical mediums when it comes to art now, and I just really can't wait to start sculpting ponies maybe. I don't know, because once I start, I won't stop.
So you come from an artistic background, is that correct?
I say artistic with air quotes because I guess you wouldn't really be an artist unless you constantly wanted to continue your self-improvement when it comes to art. But because I've injured my thumb, I do need to find different mediums to be able to express myself. And it is still a case of if I do want to draw something, or if I do want to make something, or if I do want to paint something, all that comes to mind is ponies. Before ponies came into my life, I was drawing a few other things, but now just ponies have taken over my brain, and I'm completely okay with it.
So, what did you use to draw? What did you use to paint?
Well, I am a very, very avid Sonic fan, so I have several Sonic pieces up around my room. Stitch is amazing from the movie Lilo and Stitch. Lilith from Borderlands is just, oh my gosh. I guess whatever would really inspire me. Pokemon was also a big thing. I was starting to try to cover my wall in hand-drawn Pokemon, but then that stopped pretty quickly. Anything based on video games, a lot of music-based stuff as well. I love Devin Townsend. I love Slipknot. A lot of my friends' bands as well, like Clint Flick is amazing. I was attempting to draw a comic to try to bring their personalities more to the light so people could see it in a cartoon way. Then I just wanted to make ponies versions of them, and I know for a fact they wouldn't appreciate that. They're a punk band. They wouldn't appreciate that.
There's a gallery you need to check out. It's called The Grid, Gridd. You would definitely be inspired by the art, because the way I interpreted was a combination of subnucleic, sort of molecule type stuff, and I would say it had a combination with slightly a surrealist expression. I would even say a touch of video game action. So it's actually on Dorset Road in Brony, just on the corner of Dorset and Brony Roads. You got to check it out. I think you'll get a kick out of it. 2-room gallery, so you go to for one, and then there's a whole ton of stuff in the back. Talked to the guy, really cool guy, did some time, but he had some good stuff to say. So yeah.
I end up spending most of my days now at Geeky Sound Studio, which my boyfriend runs for rehearsal and recording purposes for any local bands that want to come in. And that's located just off Dorset Road as well, so I will have to check that out.
Excellent.
I might go through there. Wonderful. I'm always looking for new places to go. My 12-year-old brother built a Lego Enterprise within like 20 minutes. He's actually quite smart. He was so proud of it, and I was so proud of him. I reckon you and he would get along like house on fire. He's a Trekkie, and he's 12.
Ooh, a Neo-Trekkie.
Yeah. Well, I've always tried to tell the kids, do what you want to do, like what you like. And they do tend to do that.
Star Trek is at least 2 generations old. He's like the 3rd, maybe 4th generation.
But Mum never actually showed us as kids. But the kids would choose to put it on by themselves. And he actually found, I forgot what season it was, but he found a box set in the op shop and he bought it for himself.
Which box set? Which series?
I'm not sure.
Ah.
I'm not sure.
Most likely would have been Next Gen. Most likely.
I think it was in the maroon case.
Oh, that could be Voyager.
Yes, that's it.
My favorite is actually Enterprise, the last one they did, which unfortunately they had to rush the ending because they got cancelled. They were going to plan this like 7-season arc. I really liked it because it was the most human of them all when they were building the Federation, at the very beginning, before there was a Federation.
Like a prequel.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, I didn't know that.
Yeah, real cool.
I'm not a huge Trekkie myself. I like Star Wars, as does my sister.
For the longest time, I've been a fan of Stargate, SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe. Universe is great. It's purely character-driven, the most criticized. Of course. I think my first introduction to science fiction was Star Wars, but once I got into Stargate, that was it. And I started to get into Star Trek when Stargate was finishing up, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to watch? And then I stumbled into Star Trek when it was being shown during like daytime television, and I thought, cool. But I think my favorites from the series, other than Enterprise, the newest one, which is a little bit more ragtag and rough tough, was Voyager. I even got into Deep Space Nine. Some of Next Generation, definitely not the early seasons when they were still trying to figure out. Like Geordi LaForge is not even chief engineer. They made him chief engineer for the second season. It was a much better move. And he looked awkward in the red uniform. We all know the joke about red uniforms.
They always die.
Yeah, except for Scotty.
He never got too far into the fray.
And I must say, I was as suspicious as everyone when the Star Trek remake was coming out, the first one. I think, how are they going to do it? How on earth are they going to do it? It's going to be like Episode-004 of Stargate SG-1, Let's replace the actors with younger, edgier versions of themselves, which is what they did. I mean, you can't have geriatrics, doing Star Trek, but Leonard Nimoy's cameo is fantastic, and even, making Bones his first name, Leonard. But yes, alternate timeline fixed everything. I think if we throw alternate timeline into the mix of things, we could solve a whole bunch of problems. Storyline fixed, which means the characters would end up differently no matter what. So.
Well, that definitely does work area of alternate dimensions and realities.
But better, and which is now my favorite alternate dimension reality, and that is Equestria. I love My Little Pony more than Stargate. I literally reached that point because I started to watch the box sets. I didn't think I'd find, especially when they said, season 2 was on pre-order, and I was like, oh, what? And I went to you've got your major JBs, like a shopping center, but there was like a little one. I found the first one myself. Someone else found the other one, and what was really cool, I was trying to be discreet, buying them, thinking, do I tell them it's like for my daughter or something? And she said, do you like My Little Pony? I was like, yeah, that's cool. And she actually brought someone over, it's like, hey, this guy likes My Little Pony, and it turns out one of the store staff was a borderline brony, so we are around. So, it's 8 million bronies worldwide, and probably growing. You're bound to bump into one of them.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, and for you and your experiences, sometimes they come from the most normal of places.
Because people don't have the perception of what they used to, and they actually understand that we genuinely like the show, not just for the fact that we're in love with the characters, we actually like the show. Some of the reasons why I love My Little Pony so much is because it gives me back that sense of innocence that I guess I was somewhat deprived of my life because I was forced to grow up a little bit too quick due to circumstances that aren't really appropriate for general consumption. But basically, watching close friends, even though that they are animated horses, it still sort of demonstrated to me not only how normal interaction works between humans, but how much you can actually appreciate another human. I'm actually very, very lucky considering a lot of the things that happened to me. My mum is amazing. She and I have been through a lot of stuff together. But My Little Pony actually gave me hope in not only humanity, but in myself. I guess I was denied a few normal social norms, or learning how to actually display the social norms. My Little Pony has given me the chance to actually interact with people on a depth that I never thought I would actually be able to do. It's given me the ability to appreciate other people a lot more than what I used to. It has not only given me faith in humanity, but it's also given me faith in myself. Thanks to those ponies that we all adore, well, I think I just love myself that little bit more. Exactly what I needed when I found ponies, and it has completed me. As weird as that may sound.
Thank you for joining me on I'm Brony and I'm Proud, and I can tell you're definitely proud to be a Brony.
Damn straight I am. Sweet Celestia, ponies will always have my heart. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my story, because quite honestly, I don't think I'd ever really have a chance otherwise to do so.
You're welcome, no worries.
Talk to you later, man.
This has been I'm Brony and I'm Proud. Lucky Knight speaking. Thanks for listening. Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at IBAIPshow. Proud to be a Brony. Intro and outro by Black Griffin. My Little Pony, friendship is magic.
My little pony. I used to wonder what friendship could be.